Rajat, I'm so excited to have you. I want to tell my friends who are watching this that Rajat is CEO of Ascent Business Solutions, and he has built this organization which is global in its scope and has about 2,000 people serving across 6 continents. The challenges that would have brought at the time of Corona would have been totally different. And today, Rajat's going to talk about that. So, Rajat, tell us about what happened in February when this whole thing blew up.
As a firm which had its backgrounds in engineering, IT, international businesses, building clientele across all these continents, business continuity planning is something that we took a lot of pride on. And then that was an essential component of how our businesses were structured so that nothing really goes down, irrespective of the situation. For the first time in our 20-year history now, we had a real asset test. It wasn't one geo, it wasn't two geos, it was the entire globe that got impacted literally within a 4 to 6 week spread of itself. Your mind gets clouded at this phase. You're almost in a spin. What's happening with businesses, revenues, cash flows, health of people, offices, customer demands. It's been crazy in that sense. So from a point of believing that there's going to be a severe slump in the volume of work to suddenly seeing a spurt in about a 15-day time frame, 2 weeks into the activity where clients started reaching out to us in frenzy because their onshore resources in their countries and different locations got hugely hit. What we had to deal with this was a problem of plenty. We had more capacity to be created for almost 50% of our clientele. And literally at a time where we were in a frenzy of moving from completely being in office because of compliances and a lot of regulatory structures for different countries that we have, to now almost being 95% home-based and looking to create more capacity. The timing of this close to a month end, a quarter end for some of them, suddenly the wheels going out from below the cars and you had to spin multiple things for multiple people.
You're in a very unique situation, Rajat, because I think most organizations in India have been really worried about where the business is going to come, when is it going to come, and here you are at the other end of the spectrum where suddenly there's a lot more to be done, and as well as kind of reorganize the organization. So tell me about how you were dealing with the whole thing as a person, as a leader.
That's possibly been the biggest learning through the phase where you really put to test all that you've been preparing. What I had been practicing for various years is my stress coping mechanisms, which was my regular hours of meditation, my me time, the way I was doing my yoga. I've been practicing yoga now for about 15 years. And that's a ritual that I don't compromise on. And that gives me a lot of energy, latitude, and as I would keep putting it in my engineering parlance, it helps me cut out the noise. A few things that I did is not compromise on my personal times, my rituals, and second, cut out the negative news that kept coming.
When you have such a huge team and they're all going through their own personal challenges and their own situations, did you find that there were any challenges that arose from there?
You have to see every life's a story. The average age of the employees would be sub 30. The leaders themselves would be in late 30s, mid 30s, early 40s. So people have young families, people have parents staying with them. There are challenges that people face. There were people who were stuck in locations which were beyond their workplaces and pulled out for a long time. There are people who've had health issues in their families,
Right.
And then having to be able to mobilize resources for them, be able to let them deal with those situations. What's been a blessing is that the whole leadership team seamlessly rallied around and taken over each other's places.
Every life has a story. I just love that line. What are some of the decisions you've had to take, and what are some of the personal things that you had to overcome in order to shift gears to deal with this?
My biggest challenge comes in is listening to the talk and speaking the talk and getting challenged sometimes by your own kids. But that you are doing this yourselves. you are taking a risk and you are getting exposed kind of situation, right? So that's the, at the micromost level, that is a situation that landed, right? I didn't want in any which ways as an individual to also lose out on the positive side of having good bonding time with my family. So what I did is I said, it's easier for me to compromise and monitor my sleeping hours. So start very early, get a lot accomplished before that happens. And luckily with all the geo times that we have, that's possible. Or work late in the nights when it demanded based on time zones to be able to still meet those requirements. Travel out on a necessity basis, and what you do before you enter back in, where you could be a source of infection to others, right? In this environment. So how to deal with that was as much a case study on ourselves and our discipline to do it as we were taking it back to our people. Most battles for most individuals and lives get done between the years.
Like you said, that the battle is being fought between the ears, right? What are your other ways of dealing with it when you get into that zone where, you know, your mind just gets overwhelmed? What do you do then?
Over the years, I've figured out what works best for me. So there are times when you know, and once you build that awareness, you know you are no longer at your peak. Second is, how do you deal with that? The one thing that I do regularly is being able to manage my journaling habit. I would say the urgent, important achievables for the finite time. It could be a month, it could be a week, it could be a quarter. Getting yourselves focused on those objectives and not losing track of that in the wake of so many moving parts happening around you all the time. Second is during the course of the day when you are juggling between shifts and peoples and stuff that are really then getting into your head and beginning to get you off your best thinking patterns. I take these timeouts. That's my mental gym, if you may so say that, which is about preparing for that situation. It starts with simple breathing exercises. You don't find your breathing patterns to be the way that you want it to be. You know it's coming in from here.
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of investment in your own self-awareness that you're doing. What's been your key takeaway through this time?
The amazing part has been is in the wake of a bigger common problem, the way humans rally together, the way people dissolve personal differences to come together has been amazing. And that gives me a lot of hope and excitement when we work. Despite the challenges, the last 60 days is a journey that I will cherish for a long, long time. I think there are so many people that I've grown closer to, have a better bonding with, a better understanding with, that it's gone beyond the positional relationships. It's gone to true human relationships. And that, for me, has been the single standout gain in the entire process.
People are now going to face a lot of trouble, and we're already hearing that, you know, people are, they're taking pay cuts, their job cuts, retrenchments. There are people who are going to face challenges in terms of their businesses, etc. What is the best piece of advice that you would give people to strengthen their inner game?
Honestly, you almost answered it within the question. The last word that you say is my favorite touch point with people. It's your inner peace. Once you get connected with what you stand for and what you aim for, and you've aligned your aspirations and your skill sets and your thinking styles to those, success is almost guaranteed. If you can work and look within and strengthen and get better, it's not about benchmarking against me, against Yoshita against somebody. It's about if you can keep getting better. These challenges and how you journey through them is what defines you as an individual. Cut the noise, focus on your signals. It's different for each one. If they learn by reflection what they are about and what gives them happiness, the journey will become exciting, and that's when people excel.
Well said, well said. I think we all need to find our definition of happiness, and we also need to cut out the noise. I think that's very, very key. Thanks so much, Rajat, for sharing your inner game.